Today we're going to be talking about parallel lines. Our first objective is to calculate the slope when given 2 points, use the slope to determine if a pair of lines is parallel, perpendicular, or neither, and determine whether lines are parallel or perpendicular by comparing their slope. First, let's do a little bit of algebra review. If we are given 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, to calculate the slope, we need to find the difference between the horizontal and vertical. So we're going to do y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. Here we have an example where we are going to use these 2 points that are given to find the slope. The slope is also known as m. So m is equal to 9 minus negative 2 divided by negative 1 minus negative 4. Remember that double subtraction means that we have addition, so we have 11 divided by 3. So the slope of our line is 11/3. Another way to find slope is when we are given a graph. If we are given a graph, we want to remember that the slope is equal to the rise divided by the run. So we can rise or fall from left to right. Remember that we read graphs from left to right. So our first example is falling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have a negative 8 for our numerator, and it is running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our slope is negative 8/5. Our second example from a graph when we're reading left to right is going up 3 and to the right 3. And since both of our values are the same, they simplify to 1. Our last example of slope is when we are given an equation. Remember that the equation needs to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. Remembering that m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. Here we have an example. We just want to be able to find the slope of each line. If it is in the proper form, then we know that the slope is in front of x, and so therefore m is equal to 3/4. In example B, it is not written in the form of y equals mx plus b, so we want to change to y equals mx plus b. That means we need to move our x to the right-hand side. So we take 2x minus 9y equals 4, and we subtract 2x from both sides. That leaves us with negative 9y equals negative 2x plus 4. We divide everything by negative 9, and we have that y is equal to negative 2 negative 9th x plus 4 over negative 9. We don't want to leave the double negatives, so we're going to rewrite this as y equals 2/9 x minus 4/9, and we know that our slope is equal to 2/9. Please pause the video and try these two on your own. Since we know that the first equation is already in the form that we want it to be in, we know that m is equal to negative 6/5, and our b value is equal to positive 1. We are first going to follow the following rules for graphing a line. We are going to plot the y-intercept. That is a positive 1. Second, we are going to use rise over run to plot future points. So we are going to rise -6. So we're going to come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to run 5 in the positive direction of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's 1 point there. Or we can go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to the left 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to connect our points, and we now have created our line. Our second example is in a little different form. We need to change 3 times x minus 1 equals 4y into the proper form by distributing the 3 inside. So we have 3x minus 3 is equal to 4y, and we want to isolate y, so we want to divide everything by 4. That means that y is equal to 3/4 x minus 3/4. Just because there is a fraction doesn't mean we can't graph it. Our slope is 3/4 and our y-intercept is -3/4. So we are going to come -3/4 down, and we are going to rise 3 from there. 1, 2, 3, and run 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's our next point. We're going to rise 1, 2, 3, and we're going to run 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we will connect, creating our line. Now we're going to talk about the difference between parallel lines and perpendicular. We will start with parallel. The definition of parallel lines is two lines in the same plane that do not intersect. So if AB is parallel to line YZ, we would write line AB is parallel to line YZ. And remember that two lines are parallel if the slopes are equal. Based off of this information, let's do a practice problem. So we want to know if the following lines are parallel. Our first example gives us a known value of a slope equaling 1/2. So we want to show that the slope of line 2 is also equal to 1/2, but we need to find that by using the slope formula of y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. 4 minus 5 is -1, and -3 minus -5 ends up being +2. I wanted a slope of a +1/2, so therefore these lines are not parallel, since 1/2 is not equal to -1/2. Our second one uses the line of 4y plus 3x equals 2 and a line through 2 points. So we first want to find the formula or the slope for line of 4y plus 3x equals 2. So line 1, 4y plus 3x equals 2. We're going to subtract 3x from both sides. 4y is equal to -3x plus 2. Divide everything by 4, and y is equal to -3/4 x plus 1/2 when you simplify. So therefore, the slope of line 1 is -3/4. So now I'm going to find line 2 by using the slope formula. 1 minus 4 divided by 7 minus 3, -3 divided by 4, and since the slopes of M1 and M2 are the same, that means that the lines are parallel. And I'll write it using words. Line 1 is parallel to line 2. Our last example here, we have a line through 2 points, 4, -2, and the line on the graph. So in this example, we actually want to plot our points just to double check. So I have this line given. I want to find the slope of it. So I'm going to come down because it's a negative line. I'm going to come down -8, and I'm going to run a +8, which means this has a slope of -1. Now I'm going to find the slope of our line with our points, -2 minus 6 divided by 4 minus 4. When I do so, I get -8 divided by 0. This is undefined because anything divided by 0 is undefined. And since the slope of the first line does not equal the slope of the line on the graph, the lines are not parallel. Now we're going to talk about perpendicular lines. By definition, a perpendicular line is two lines that intersect to form a 90-degree right angle. If line JK is perpendicular, we use the perpendicular symbol to line ST. We write it like this. Two lines that are perpendicular have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. That means that if the slope of the first line is 1/2, then the slope of the second line needs to be the opposite, which is negative, and the reciprocal, which is 2. We're going to take a look at 3 examples. Our first example has a slope given of 1/2. So we are hoping that our second slope is a negative and the reciprocal value. So we are going to find the slope of line 2 by using the slope formula. -3 minus -5 divided by 4 minus 5. Double negative makes this positive 2, and the bottom is -1. And since they are opposites and the reciprocal, we can say that line 1 slope is perpendicular to line 2. The second example, we are given the equation, so we know that the slope of line 1 is -3/4, and we need to find the slope of line 2 using the formula. 8 minus 4 divided by 2 minus 5. 8 minus 4 is 4, and 2 minus 5 is -3. Since the measure of the slope of line 1 is opposite but not, is reciprocal but not opposite of line 2, these lines are not perpendicular. So we say line 1 is not perpendicular to line 2, or we say that it is neither. And our last example goes through the graph and a set of points. We're going to do the set of points first. The slope of the first line is -2 minus -1 divided by 4 minus 5. Double negative makes those positive, so we have -1 over -1, which is a positive 1. The slope of line 2, we are going to rise 4, and we are going to run 4, which gives us a slope of 4 divided by 4, which is 1. Since the slope of M1 is equal to the slope of M2, these lines are parallel and not perpendicular. You have some practice problems listed in another file. Please do those.